Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Ethereum is still forming this falling wedge pattern even after seeing a perfect rejection from this exact point of resistance. But we still have some other important Ethereum charts to pay attention to later in this video, alongside some critical lines of support all Ethereum holders should know. So definitely stick around all the way to the end of this video so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more update videos just like this every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Ethereum secure solid chart on the 12-hour time frame, and this is the same falling wedge pattern that we've been talking about over the past couple days now on the channel. And you'll notice that over the past one day, we have seen a short-term pullback after reaching this exact line of resistance. This line of resistance was coming in at around $4,100 per Ethereum, and that was the exact level of resistance that I let you know about yesterday on the channel, saying that if we break above 4.1k with confirmation, then that would be a bullish signal. But for the time being, that is still resistance. And obviously we found resistance along the exact line of resistance. But as I just said, even though we've just experienced a short-term pullback over the past one day, technically speaking, at least at the time of filming this video, Ethereum is still forming this falling wedge pattern, which is technically a bullish pattern. Around 7 times out of 10, this pattern breaks to the upside, and about 3 times out of 10, it breaks to the downside, which is why it is known as a bullish pattern, just because it's more likely to break to the upside. But I want to make it clear that it's still not impossible for it to break to the downside. But yeah, right now we have clearly not seen a break of this pattern just yet. The support is coming in at just above 3.6k, and once again the resistance is coming in close to 4.1k. So obviously a break below that support level would mean that we're breaking to the downside. A break above resistance would mean that we're breaking to the upside. And if we break the resistance, then the technical price target for this pattern is coming in at around 4.7k approximately. But remember, that price target only comes into play once we confirm a break above this point of resistance. And this line of support coming in at just above 3.6k is not only important because of this pattern right here, it's also important because of this head and shoulders pattern on the 6-hour time frame. This was the larger head and shoulders pattern that we have been talking about for around a week now on the channel, and at least at the time of filming this video, we have not seen a break below the neckline, at least just yet. And the neckline is coming in between 3.6k and 3.7k. So basically, if we start seeing a confirmed break below 3.6k, that is how you know that this head and shoulders pattern on the 6-hour chart is potentially still playing out. But once again, as of right now, at the time of filming this video, we have not seen a break just yet. And on top of that, another reason why 3.6k to 3.7k is a really important price range for Ethereum, bringing out this chart right here. This is the daily time frame for Ethereum, and what we have is a horizontal line of support coming in at around 3,650. I've placed that line there for a few different reasons. First of all, this was the neckline for this previous inverse head and shoulders pattern that we were forming back during September leading into October, which of course was a bullish pattern at that time. So back then, this level was acting as major resistance for the price of Ethereum, and in the immediate short term, we have been finding major support along this exact level. And on top of that, bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the July low up to the all-time high, what we have is the 38.2% Fibonacci level coming in at around 3,650. And by the way, the 38.2% Fibonacci level is the second most important Fibonacci level. The most important Fibonacci level is the golden pocket coming in at around 2.9k, which is close to where we bottomed out during the September correction. So because of all of those reasons so far, we have some major supports coming in at around 3,650 approximately. And on top of that, looking in the VPVR indicator on the daily time frame, the next major cluster of volume to the downside starts at around 3,550, so just below 3.6k. And this is a massive cluster of volume to the downside, with the biggest spike of traded volume coming in at around 3.3k and going down towards around 3.1k. So basically, Ethereum has a massive range of supports below the current price, starting at around 3.6k all the way down towards 3.1k. But if you want more specific levels, then 3,650 approximately and 3.3k are two very important support levels for Ethereum. Now, when talking about possible scenarios for Ethereum moving forward, I have been mentioning this Ethereum chart over the past 3 to 4 days now, which is on the daily time frame for Ethereum, and it basically compares all of the similarities between this pullback and the pullback that we saw during May and June. I'll just really quickly go over them again for any of the new viewers on the channel. First of all, we had a lot of bullish price action leading into the bearish price action both times here, and then the most significant crash to the downside back during May, formed major wicks to the downside as we were basically going vertical to the downside during that short period of time, similar to what we experienced around 1.5 to 2 weeks ago for Ethereum with that huge sharp crash to the downside, forming a major wick to the downside. And then after that, over the next few days, over the next few weeks, we remained above the 120-day simple moving average, which is this green line just here back during June. And you'll notice that during that same time period, we saw consistent lower highs forming for Ethereum, which is exactly what we have seen recently over the past 1 to 2 weeks. And even when you're looking in the price oscillators, for example, the RSI is looking very similar as well. Now, obviously, nothing is guaranteed in these markets, but if we were to play out a scenario similar to what we saw back during June, then it is technically possible Ethereum could experience one more dump to the downside before then we start seeing the bullish price action kick in later on. But with that being said, I'm not necessarily betting on a move to the downside. So right now, my personal Ethereum strategy is just to slowly dollar cost average into Ethereum, because looking back at the bearish price action that we saw during June, whether you bought at the 120-day simple moving average or after we saw that next dump to the downside, either way, if you bought at any of those 2 points just there, right now you would still be in profits if you held for the longer term. So for the most part, during June and July in particular, that was an amazing buying opportunity in the overall crypto markets, but especially for Ethereum and Bitcoin. And at least according to all of the similarities that we're seeing right now, we could very well be entering into a great buying opportunity similar to what we saw back during June and July. But just a quick disclaimer, this is closer to speculation if anything, because this right here isn't any sort of price pattern. And so even though I am personally dollar cost averaging into Ethereum right now and holding that for the longer term, as in for at least the next few months, it's still important for you to do your own research and come up with your own strategy, of course. And just really quickly updating you on Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the 2-day time frame, we are still holding above this importance line of support coming in at around 0.076 Bitcoin per Ethereum. The Ethereum 2-day RSI on Ethereum against Bitcoin has seen a nice cool off down towards neutral areas, giving us more room to the upside later on. But one thing to consider is the fact that we are getting very close to a bearish cross in the 2-day MACD for Ethereum against Bitcoin. And the last time we saw that was during September right here. And at that time, when we were seeing that bearish cross, the 2-day RSI reached into overbought territories as we reached a short-term peak. And then we entered a short-term cool-off as the RSI cooled off in the short term as well. And then at the point that we saw the bearish cross in the 2-day MACD, the price of Ethereum against Bitcoin continued to the downside over the next 3 weeks before then we bottomed out. And for the complete beginners out there, when Ethereum moves to the downside on this chart, that means Ethereum is underperforming against Bitcoin. So basically, it's just important that we hold above this level of support that I just mentioned, because otherwise, if Ethereum fails to hold that level, then at that stage, it's very likely we would see the bearish cross in the 2-day MACD, and that could signal to us that we are due for a little bit more of a pullback before we might reach a bottom in maybe a few weeks from now. And this is also because of the Bitcoin dominance chart on the 2-day time frame running into major supports coming in at about 40% dominance. I've been letting you know about this major support for the Bitcoin dominance for weeks now on the channel, basically telling you over the past few weeks that if we see a bounce from this exact level of support, then that would put an end to the short-term altcoin season that we were in for around 1.5 to 2 months. But then eventually, if the Bitcoin dominance ends up breaking below 40%, that could signal another altcoin season beginning. But right now, we are not seeing that, at least at the time of filming this video. So anytime the Bitcoin dominance is looking bullish, that is essentially bearish for the majority of altcoins out there, because for the complete beginners out there, when the Bitcoin dominance is going to the upside, that means Bitcoin is stealing market share away from the altcoins, which means altcoins like Ethereum are underperforming against Bitcoin on average. So that's why the Bitcoin dominance chart is definitely an important one to pay attention to, but you'll notice that we are forming a much larger descending triangle pattern, which historically is a bearish pattern. And so yes, in the immediate short term, if the Bitcoin dominance goes to the upside, that could be a bearish signal for altcoins. But when you're looking at the bigger picture overall, we are potentially still looking bearish for the Bitcoin dominance, which is bullish for the overall crypto markets and especially bullish for altcoins like Ethereum. If you got some value out of this video, please make sure to drop a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. As always, I seriously do appreciate all of your support. I can't thank you guys enough. And before you click off, you might as well check out one of these uploads if you haven't already. I've got a trading tutorial video and a passive income video, which could potentially help you make more money in the crypto markets. But that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.